US President Donald Trump says he is strongly considering imposing new sanctions and tariffs on Russia for its war against Ukraine. He said it was based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield. He made the comments on social media, but in his usual mercurial fashion, Trump followed them with others later on Friday when he said he was finding it easier to deal with Moscow than with Kyiv. Here's Nick Rushworth.
To get these talks back on track, get a ceasefire in place.
He says he is pushing for a ceasefire and a peace settlement. And to that end, he is threatening Russia, warning Moscow in a social media post that he was considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia based on the fact of its actions on the battlefield. That threat came as Trump faces criticism for increasing pressure on Ukraine while playing down or even denying Russia's responsibility for starting the war with its full-scale invasion 3 years ago.
We're doing very well with Russia.
Trump said, speaking to reporters later on in the Oval Office, that he was finding it more difficult to deal with Ukraine than Russia in reaching a peace agreement.
As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia on sometime next week, early. And we're talking, I find that in terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising because they have all the cards. I mean, they're bombing the hell out of them right now.
Fresh off the support of European leaders, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky this Friday condemned Russia's first major missile attack inside Ukraine overnight Thursday to Friday, since the US paused intelligence sharing with Kyiv. Zelensky says efforts to talk with Washington are continuing.
There has been the most intensive work to date. Throughout the day, it has been ongoing with President Trump's team at various levels, with many phone calls. The agenda is clear: peace as soon as possible, security as reliable as possible.
We will engage in
Trump is sending Secretary of State Marco Rubio, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to Saudi Arabia next week to meet with Ukrainian officials.
It would have never happened if I were president.